Hi, this is Daryl from Go Mix Yourself. Welcome back to part 2 of drum replacement. So, what are we going to do in part 2? Part 2, we're going to actually show you how to do some complex replacements. You're taking some overheads, which you're going to take the snare out of actually. So you can actually add a snare, so if you want to bring the snare up or down without having to actually bring the overheads up and down, you'll be able to do it. So here's drum replacements, part 2.
So how do we get a snare track out of an overhead track? Well, first we go to our overheads, and let's make them a jumbo so we can see them better. Jumbo! All right. And we create a new track. I already did it here. I called it snare replacement, and I brought a sample in. It's a snare sample, obviously. Go to video number 1. It shows you how to do that if you don't know already. So here's the sample we're working with today. So it's kind of a bright snare sample. Why did I choose it? Because what we have, the snare and the overheads, is kind of a dark sample. And when you're choosing your samples, you need to sort of envision what you want your end product. If I chose a really fat, thicker, lower end snare drum, I'm going to start having some fighting between that snare drum and the snare drum and my overheads. I'm going to have to do some corrective EQ right out of the bat. This one should work just great. Let's make that track jumbo as well. All right. Now, I'm going to actually put that in my clipboard. So Command-C, copy. It's on the clipboard. We're going to make sure our tab to transient's on over here. Now, you'll start at the beginning of your song. I'm going to start a little ways in so you can hear a good before and after. Let's solo the overheads for a second. All right, it's pretty obvious. Snares are like these big hits. Little ones are kicks there. Snare, kick, kick, snare, kick, snare. So what do we do with that? We go before one of the snare hits. We hit tab. That's a hi-hat. There's the snare. Now it's lined up perfect on the snare. We hit Command, Shift, go in the track above where we're placing our snare, and left mouse click. And then Command-V. And we pasted a snare. Now hit tab, and it is tabbing down here. There's another snare hit, so Command-V. Kick, snare. Kick, snare. Okay, so you just go through your song like that. You do have to be careful, though, because sometimes something that is a snare doesn't look like one. Case in point, check out this little lick. Okay, the first one's an obvious snare. The next one is a snare, but it doesn't look like one. And the next one is a snare, but it doesn't look like one. And the next one is a kick, and it looks like the previous ones. So you'll need to use your ears a bit, see what's what. And at the end, you should actually go through, make sure you didn't paste a snare where there's not one, or not paste a snare where there is one. But this is just, it's pretty easy, a little bit of a tedious process. Okay, let's hear that before and after I just promised you about. I'm going to unsolo these so you can actually hear it with the music. Okay, you can see the snare gets lost as soon as our extra snare track isn't there anymore. So that is how you replace the snare. We still need to do some stuff to this snare. We still need to EQ it. We still need to compress it, etc., etc. And in video 3, we're going to actually show you how to humanize it a bit. It needs to have some, well, drummers don't play the same velocity every time. They don't hit the same part of the snare every time. So little tonal changes and little volume changes are going to make a world of difference and make it sound less robotic and more human. Let's talk about toms for a second. I think I heard one over here. Yeah, we got one there. Okay, so if you're having a problem finding where the tom is, sort of listen to it. It's like snare, snare, tom. or maybe even go half speed. That's the play button, right mouse click, half speed. So right here is our guilty party. That's a tom hit. You do the same thing. You create a new track. You create a sample, the tom sample you want. You hit your tab button until you're over there. And now you do Command Shift and go into wherever that tom track is, and you paste your tom sample, just like that. Then of course, use your ears, make sure that is the actual hit. So please check out video number 3, which helps you learn how to humanize it a bit. And also, if you like what you saw here and you may use it, then please hit that like button on our video. We'd really appreciate it. And you can subscribe to our channel, get a lot of our videos, or you can even visit us on the web at www.gomixyourself.com.